Hello, you're listening to Hugo Talks. As can be clearly seen, the UK government have been ramping up their messages to the public through adverts and articles in the mainstream media, interviews, etc. And it is very, very focused on creating fear. So much so that yesterday a group of 47 professional psychologists have accused the government of using covert strategies to keep people in perpetual or heightened fear to make them obey restrictions, it says here in the Daily Express. So usually when you hear the word covert, it's usually used in military terms or psychological operations. So are these professional psychologists accusing the government of launching a psyop on the public? Let's have a look. We'll see what it says. A group of 47 psychologists have claimed this amounts to a strategic decision to inflate the fear levels of the British public, which it states is ethically murky and has left people too afraid to leave their homes for medical appointments. Led by former NHS consultant psychologist Dr. Gary Sidley, the experts have written to the British Psychological Society claiming the strategy is morally questionable. So here we have 47 professionals, experts in their field, who are observing what is going on and are taking a stand and saying this is looking well dodgy. It must be said, though, that the government have vehemently denied using covert techniques, saying its public information campaigns have been transparent and necessary to set out clear instructions. Well, it wasn't correct about that advert they had out about people walking dogs the other day being more likely infected, which they have now had to remove after the Advertising Standards Agency told them it was spreading false information. That wasn't correct, was it? Let's just say it was transparently false. The article continues. It says the group used the Sage 22 advisory group's advice to the government, stating the perceived level of personal threat needs to be increased among those who are complacent by using hard-hitting emotional messaging. Dr. Sidley said, it is clear from the methods that are now being used that the government has taken on this advice. Just because the government is explicit in its messaging, however, it does not mean this is not having an impact covertly. It is the way this is communicated that we are concerned about. Psychologists know that while the content of messaging might be factual, the way in which it is delivered will determine its impact, and we believe the biggest impact is at a subconscious level, which we do not think is ethical or healthy for people. We believe inflating fear levels to achieve compliance may be doing more harm than good. The strategic decision to inflate fear levels has had unintended consequences, resulting in many people being too scared to leave their houses or to let anybody in, thereby exacerbating loneliness and isolation, which in turn have detrimental impacts on physical and mental health. Persistent fear compromises the immune system and works against the objective of keeping us safe and healthy. So there you are. You've got 47 professional psychologists openly coming out and stating that what the government are doing in regards to their advertising campaign is fear-driven, covert, and ultimately doing more harm than it is doing good. As always, thanks for listening. Come and subscribe to hugotalks.com so I can update you.
Thank you for watching that here. Sometimes you can stop this now if you want, but I'd just like to add that I don't believe this is a conspiracy between all these authoritarians around the world, but it's my observation that people that find themselves in, or that seek and find themselves in political office, seem to enjoy the power and control that that gives them. A lot of us couldn't relate to that, wanting to do that. And they do not have to communicate with one another or have a plan. They just see one doing it, and then other ones will go, oh, that's great, I can do that too. I can control my people over here in California or New York or in China or wherever it happens to be. But anyway, thank you for watching Hugo Talks and listening to me.